You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. Free 99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome everybody to episode number 331 of the Batter Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Gannett, and alongside me, as always, the KBD. How are you doing, sir?
I'm feeling pretty goatish.
Goatish, okay. All right, that's good, I guess. Great game, and a lot to talk about. Let me start by saying this. Okay, before we get into the game, and you keep Robert Taylor's face there.
Let's talk.
This Miami team, I said it a couple weeks ago, and I think some people thought that I was exaggerating. This team isn't losing more than 3 games this year. It's not in the MLS regular season. They're not. My question was, how will they do against a good attack? How will they do against a good offense? Going into this game, which is the second best attack in the league. Second most goals up until now. They're the first team to score a goal against St. Louis, who just basically defends with their lives. And Miami went ahead and they beat Philadelphia, and they had a lot of good chances. I'm sorry, but this is by far and away the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, I absolutely have to agree with you. Like, there's absolutely no way that we're going to lose more than 3-4 games this year. It's a wrap for the entire league.
Are you gonna get into camera at some point?
Should I sit down? Should I sit down?
That would be great. Yeah. I mean, he scored a tap in. Chris, calm down.
Let's. What do you mean, calm down? What do you mean, calm down?
He scored a tap in. I'm happy for him, but then you kill it, and then it just annoys me. He scored a tap in. That's it. Relax.
Look, I don't know about you, but Amanda's. You're pulling all the strings, Amanda. Robert Taylor is back. He is back.
He scored a tap in. I'm happy
right
he scored
place,
a tap in, but he scored a
right time.
And by the way, everybody killing Ben Cram. Ben Cram with the assist, right? Heavy's first touch ended up into an assist. So shout out to Ben Cram. I went on the Discord before the game and I said that although I don't think he is necessarily an attacking player, I don't think he should be playing the role of a 10. But I'd much rather see him in the center of the pitch as a 10 than out wide. And I thought that he would have a better game today because he is better suited to play what he was playing today as a 10, which, again, I still think he's out of position at that role, rather than seeing him play out wide. And he had a decent game today.
Listen, AZ Rebellion, this comment is completely unacceptable. And from you. You're a longtime fan, AZ. I know you. I've seen you around here in these streets for years. Let's give Taylor some respect here, guys. Okay? Oh man, the Messi people are they're gonna destroy me. We're 4 minutes in because I haven't said anything about Messi, and I'm here talking about Robert Taylor.
That is true.
Yeah, guys, I got some cool giveaways from Florida Blue. They gave me a keychain at the game, and they gave me a wallet for my cards. So I thought just to show you guys that cool stuff they gave away.
So you made it sound like we were going to give something away. You were just telling people that's what you got.
That's what I got. I mean, I don't know what well, last episode, I don't know if you saw, I do intend on giving a Levan Hernandez bobblehead.
You mean the one that you were supposed to give me?
What? You didn't get yours? I thought I gave you yours.
No, bitch.
I think I even gave Callie a Levan Hernandez bobblehead.
Man, you didn't give me mine, and you're giving it away. Very nice. All right. So, obviously, we were running a little late. It was, at least for me, it was really difficult getting out of that stadium. So I haven't had a chance to set up the starting lineup and all that other stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now. In case anybody thinks that I look distracted, that's what I'm doing. But Chris, let's start. Atmosphere. How did you feel about the game and the atmosphere?
Well, about the game, the general thoughts for me were we played pretty well. Ben Krem, I don't want to give him any hate. He played very well this game, considering, right? For the most part, you know, he played a lot better this game than he has on the other games. The refereeing at the end was completely atrocious. It was absolutely awful. And but yeah, I mean, it was a good game. It was a good opponent. The atmosphere was actually pretty cool. I didn't see too many Philadelphia fans. I saw more when I was walking in versus actually sitting down.
I thought the atmosphere was great also. I thought it got really electric the last 10 minutes. All right, the last 10 minutes of the game were very electric. Once Ustadi subbed out and Drake came in, I think there was like a nervous excitement, right? Nervous because the game's handing in the balance. Philly is basically going all in on trying to score a goal, and all of a sudden you have Drake that hasn't played a minute yet in any competition, not even preseason, and then you have him coming in a crucial situation, and everybody was ready to. I was ready to see possibly a goal go in, and all of a sudden everybody turn on Drake more than they already have. It was an interesting 10 minutes, back and forth. We had great opportunities. Luis Suarez hesitated on basically an open goal, I thought, and he got the block shot by a defender. It was just a very entertaining last 10 minutes, and I think that's the most lively I've heard the stadium so far this season. Still early in the season, but so far those last 10 minutes are probably the most electric that I've seen at Chase Stadium so far this year.
It was a good atmosphere, absolutely. Now let's get over, Danny, to the starting 11. Okay, El Once.
Put it up. No name.
Here
Sorry,
it
I didn't
is.
have time to do it. I don't even think did I line up Fafa and Robert Taylor correctly?
Let me see. No, you didn't.
No, Robert Taylor was on the right and Fafa was on the left.
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
Correct.
I literally did it as we were bringing in the show.
So Luis Suarez up top. We're gonna go backwards this time. Luis Suarez up top. Fafa was actually playing the left wing. Right wing was where Taylor was at. You had Ben Krem playing like a funky 10, right? Mm-hmm. And then you had back behind them the pivot with Busquets and Redondo making the start. You had Jordi Alba playing left back, Frey playing right back, and Maxi Falcon and Toto Aviles playing center back with Ustadi starting. Now, my first thoughts here were Ben Krem at the 10. Not the biggest fan, but I'd rather have him there than at the wing. Mm-hmm. So that's a positive, right? Redondo starting. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I don't understand what the push is for Redondo starting. Like, I feel like it's pretty clear cut that Bright should be the starter alongside.
Who do you think had a better game today, Redondo or Bright?
Well, I mean, Bright got a yellow card, so I imagine that his like SOFA score is like a 1.2.
Based off of what you saw, and don't worry about the SOFA score. Who had a better game today?
Based off what I saw, I'll say just Redondo had the better game. I think because he had more time on the field, he was able to feel out the game better. Like Bright was very limited with his minutes. He did get it. I think he got a steal or two. I don't know.
Bright had a really bad. Bright also had a bad giveaway.
He had also a bad pass. Correct. So now, I mean, in terms of the totality of the quality versus the amount of minutes that they had, I would say Redondo edged him out. With the amount of minutes you get, you can't edge out Bright. You can't do that, Danny. You can't. If you're Redondo, you cannot edge out Bright in performance. You can't.
Well, I do think that there was rotation today, right? Messi came in as a sub, Segovia came in as a sub, Bright came in as a sub. I think when it comes to playing our best 11 for the Champions Cup this Wednesday, is it? I think you're going to see Bright out there. You're going to see Segovia. I was surprised that Ben Krem started over Segovia, but I mean, I guess they want to rest Segovia for the Champions Cup, but I don't know. I guess. I don't know. I would have put Segovia out there. I don't think how old is he? Like 2? Like he doesn't need a rest. I
Yeah,
don't
what the hell are we doing with him?
We're not resting Suarez, but we're resting Segovia. I don't get it. But I think that's why Bright was not the starter over Redondo.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll take it because of the rotation, and he played well. He played well. Him and Ben Krem had very surprising performances. But other than that, the lineup was good for me. I was good with it. Did you like this starting 11?
I wasn't a fan of Ben Krem at the 10, but Segovia just came back from international duty. Maybe that has something to do with it also. But yeah, I would have had Segovia out there. But yeah, like they said, he just came back from international duty, and you got the CCC coming up. So yeah, okay.
Tomas is saying, like I've been saying, defense is really bad. I don't know. I can't say that our defense was, dude, there were so many great defensive plays made. And like there's no, this is not acceptable.
Well, I mean, look, there were a couple times that I felt Frey saved our ass. It was a couple block shots that was just outside the 6. So we're letting them get into those positions. And like I said, this is one of the best attacks in the league, though. Best offenses in the league is Philly. So you can't say our defense allowed 1 goal against what is supposed to be possibly the best offense in the league so far. I don't think it's the best, but it's definitely up there. This is the first real test for our defense. Like up until now, everybody's like, oh, our defenses look so much better. Our defenses look so great. We shut out KC. We shut out Cavalier. Like those aren't real teams. We shut out Charlotte. We weren't being as aggressive, and they could only score on the counter. So Charlotte, although they are much better, if they're not countering anybody, they're not beating anybody. They lost to somebody today, 2-0, to the Rapids. Mihailovic, I'm telling you, Mihailovic. Yes, I wish that guy would love that guy. So they just lost 2-0 to Colorado Rockies, Rapids, and then Atlanta also hasn't been necessarily great offensively. This was our first real test, and if we allow just 1 goal to our first real test, like come on, cut us some slack. Like I feel like today I could finally say, like, you know what, our defense is looking much better. I've been hesitating saying it up until now. After today, our defense is looking much better.
But that's why, like, it's a good thing that you brought that up, because that's what I was going to get to. We're literally, this was the test that we were talking about earlier this week.
This is what we've been waiting for, yeah.
This was the game that was going to show us where we stand defensively. They are awesome on the counter. Like, they can destroy teams on the counter. And we kept them pretty much in check. I mean, people were saying we were bad on corners.
We were playing it safe. Like, we played most of the ball in the first half in our own side. Like, we held more possession, but we held possession and completed passes on our half of the pitch, right? Because we weren't risking anything. You know, they let us possess the ball, and we weren't necessarily going vertical with it. And the first half was kind of boring, to be honest with you. Like, we kept possession, but we weren't necessarily threatening with the possession. We weren't doing too much with it. The first half, you know.
Well, and Danny, we have a super duper ooper super slam right here. 89 J Stubbs says, I think the MLS refs are trying to nerf us this year, but everyone says we are favored. I mean, it's hands down, man down. We're favored.
It absolutely, like, it's wild for anybody to say that the refs are favoring Miami. Like, they gave us 6 cards today, 6 yellow cards, and how many fouls was it altogether? Let me check. I don't have the stats up. I literally walked into the house and walked straight to the computer, so I have nothing ready right now.
Well, as far as the stats are concerned, fouls, we had 22 fouls and 12 fouls for Philly. There were 6 yellow cards called on Inter Miami, 2 yellow cards called on Philly.
So out of 22, we had 6 out of the 22 fouls, 6 of them were yellow cards. So that's 1 every 3.5, a little over 3.5. Every 3 fouls, we're getting cards.
Yeah, and listen, that's why I can't accept that people are saying that our defense was bad. Our defense was good. I mean, you had Ian Frey, who made a critical. He had a critical clearance.
Ustadi had a crazy save
where he was like, he
falling
was like
backwards.
falling backwards like
Yeah.
that, like in that shape of that like break dancer from Australia or wherever.
Yeah, from the Olympics.
And- yeah, from the Olympic, like what Olympic breakdancing? Get out of here. But aside from that, you had Maxi Falcon who had an incredible clearance. You had Jordi Alba who had an incredible clearance. I can't think of any other players just off the top of my head without kind of reassessing the game. But dude, like, come on. We played well defensively against the best offensive team in the league at this moment, other than us.
And then another thing that Philly does very well is the way they're beating a lot of teams is with their attack. They're countering because they're pressing constantly and they're forcing teams into turnovers. Busquets, some people might think that he's the man of the match because everything was kind of going through him. You can't press Busquets.
Yeah.
And he was kind of leading that back line, even if it wasn't vertical passes, which I believe he had a lot of accurate long balls. But
yes,
he was kind of directing traffic from back there. And it's almost like we didn't allow them to play to their strength. And I think that Busquets is a leader in that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was one of the reasons. He was the biggest reason to our first goal. But before we talk about the goals, Ace Lionel says 18 clearances. Guys, we got notes, okay? We do our homework. We know what we're talking about. We're not just gas bagging here, okay?
Oh, look, I will be the first to tell you that I do gas bag on these post-game shows right after I go in person because the first half I'm usually very buzzed and I don't know what's going on. So no problem saying that usually when I get on after the games, it's straight gas bagging, straight just reaction, literal reaction.
And before I bring up the Super Slam, Statsy says Reddit is a cesspool. I had to delete that app. Should we go on Reddit?
I've never been on Reddit.
Should we go on Reddit?
Is it literally reddit.com? I've never been on that.
It's an app. I think there is a reddit.com.
Oh, it's an app.
But I think there is an app. Should we go on Reddit? Yes or no? And then let's go to the super duper super slam.
Boom shakalaka! Boom shakalaka!
Kathy Huang, $9.99. Much appreciated. Thank you for the love. And yeah, I mean, look, I've seen Reddit. Like, I know what it is. I mean, look, people are saying, "Don't Chris, don't go." No, nobody likes Reddit, but like everyone is on Reddit, and Tati is saying pure garbage.
I've heard of Reddit. I've heard of it. I've
heard it's very resourceful. Actually, I've heard that you can like literally like you can find.
What is it, like a Twitter? Like, what's the point of it?
It's like a message board. It's a message board for everything.
It's like a Discord.
It's kind of like, but Discord's not a message board. It's like a live chat. Reddit is like a legitimate message board, like how you and I remember message boards. Are we dating ourselves with that message board? It's a forum. It's like a blog.
Whatever. Look, anything that's online and gives everybody a voice, even though everybody thinks that's cute, it ends up being a cesspool because people just like to complain. Unfortunately, that's just what people like to do. If they have a platform to complain, they'll figure something to complain about. So,
yeah. Well, let's keep it moving. Let's talk a little bit about the goals, Danny. Okay. So let's recap and see what happened in the game. So in the beginning of the game, Ben Krem gets his first yellow card, 21 minutes into it, literally shoves a player.
What did you think about his new haircut?
I mean, look, whatever, he's all right. Like his
I had a hard time locating him on the pitch.
But it's just shorter. I don't think it looks that different.
Yes, it does.
Ben Krem's haircut.
Yes. Look at the picture right here. Look at that. And today, you can see his forehead.
Yes, he kicked back. He kicked back the bangs. He did a little cut on the side, but it doesn't look too drastically different. I don't know.
Completely different.
Listen, he's a young chap. He can kind of do whatever the hell he wants with his. Look, people love his haircut. Joan Mariciano says it's very different.
I think it looks much better.
Yeah. And Stancy saying Cremita looks much better. And then Pedri just decides to drop a bomb, average MLS bum. What? We're talking about his haircut, Pedri. What are you dropping the bomb destroyers for here? So we get to the goal of this guy, Robert Taylor, right here. Florida man, yeah, he might be still a little buzzed. Robert Taylor's goal was a product of Sergio Busquets and his vision. Nice through ball to Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba sees Ben Krem on the other side, crosses it through the ground. And then Ben Krem says, let me get this over to Robbie the Goat Taylor, Neymar Light. And he does a little.
If he would have laid it back, Fafa was right there unmarked also. He chose, well, you know, I don't know if he chose. I think it was just a reactionary center, the way he centered the ball. Because it was like a first touch. Do you think that was just his first touch and it just bounced off of his foot?
No, I think he knew he was going to take that. He knew he was going to take that.
He had Fafa right there also. That Fafa could have gotten that goal also. But nice. I'm glad that Kremaki was there to play that ball in.
Yeah. I do think that if he wouldn't have gotten it, or if he wouldn't have been at that spot, that Fafa would have planted it in the back of the net. Yeah, I mean, look, and Angel is saying Fafa almost had a goal. He did.
Fafa, he had that header. He had the header that hit off the post.
He jumped like 30 feet in the air. And that was also a pass by Taylor, by the way.
We had talked about it a couple episodes ago about how Fafa, you don't really look at him and think headers, but more than half of the goals that he scored last year were off of headers. The only goal he has this year with Inter Miami is off a facer. Like, he is an aerial threat. So it's nice to know that Fafa can get up there.
I want to hold on because I need to bring this comment here. Iman Hassan is saying, why are you guys happy? I don't know what this shit type of defender. You will win shit at the end of the year. Iman, did you watch the game?
Well, Chris, they had 19 shots.
I know they did, but they're a good offensive team.
But I agree with you to an extent. But yes, if you give up 19 shots, that isn't a good defense either. But early in the season, and again, the best offensive team up until this point. So
Vic is asking a question here saying 70% of the world is what? Show us that shirt. And it says right there, 70% of the world is covered by water. The rest is covered by Yannick Bright. You can find these shirts, by the way, on batteredfans.com. Okay.
Yeah.
You would have cop them, get them right away. Okay. They're flying off the shelf. And you could use is there a code? Batteredfans.com code?
No discounts right now.
Okay.
Even though, just so you know, 2-3 days ago was 1,000 days since we started this podcast. I know, weird, but those are the type of things that I keep up with numbers and days. And 3 days ago was 1,000 days since we started this podcast.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, Matis Yahoo, we gave you a code like last week.
It was 2 weeks ago. I gave you, was it 30% off for hitting 1,000 subscribers on the battered MLS fans?
Yeah, man. Come on, guys. So that first goal, Robbie Taylor gets the tap in. Finally, he gets a goal. Okay. And I had a feeling he was going to start. That's why I wore this shirt to the game, because you had no Tadeo Allende. You knew that Segovia was going to come back from international duty. I thought that, like you said, this was going to be a rotation game. So shout out to Matty Ice.
Chris, you told me that Matt sits in our section. I've never seen Matt at a game. Matt, do you exist?
I think
Chris says that you sit in our section somehow, and I've never seen you once ever.
I think I might have seen him when I looked back, because the monitor behind us is it's closer than the one in front of us. So like I look back at the highlights, I think I might have seen him. I don't know. You gotta hit us up, Matt. The hell?
Someone says that we were awful in set pieces. Did you think we were awful in set pieces?
I didn't think we were the best. I think that's where we probably were hurting the most defensively. But I think that they are a very structured team when it comes to set pieces.
Well, Iman, you said a good team would score from set pieces.
I agree with this. I do agree with that.
Iman, we've played two of the top teams in the MLS already. So what teams are the ones that you're expecting to score on these? We're talking about the MLS right now, Iman.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the Club World Cup in the summer. As far as the MLS goes, this defense is one of the better ones you're going to find in the league. Now, you want to talk about Club World Cup? Then yes, this defense probably isn't it.
Well, I mean, but we have to grade it accordingly. Like, that's why when we have people come in here and they're like, oh, you guys are garbage. You guys are shit. Like, they're comparing us to like the top flight teams in the entire globe. Like, let's simmer down and put things in their right,
For the MLS, this is by far one of the best defenses in the league.
PSG isn't that the only team that exists in Ligue 1? Like, no other team has won. Well, I think there has been other teams that won, but like PSG is like the team over there. No?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there's only like one or two other teams that like get to sniff their jockstrap every so often, but that's it.
And this is why. So PSG, guess how many points they've only played 27 matches. So they're like 2/3 of the way through the season.
Yeah.
Guess what their lead in points is from second place Monaco?
42.
Nah, that's too much. But
like
it is 21 though. They have a 7-game lead basically over the second place team. They've already won. Like, what's the point of watching that league after this?
What is the point?
What's the point? I mean, and again, I poop on this league all the time anyway. So, but what's the point?
And you want to talk about, you compare them to PSG. You're literally comparing them to the biggest and best team in one league.
All right. So let's get back on track.
All right.
Liverpool have a 12-point lead in the EPL. That's basically over also. What's the point of watching the rest of that crap also?
I mean, you guys, get out of here. Indiana Vasilev subs in at the 46th minute to start the half.
Right. Well, what were you thinking at halftime?
At halftime, I thought that we were in pretty good control. I thought that we were playing pretty well. And I imagined that Messi was going to come into the game. I didn't think he was going to come in as early as he did, but I thought that we were playing fairly well for the first half.
You thought that Messi was going to come in later? I feel like you should know by now. I don't think Messi's ever subbed in later than the 55th minute. Like, he always subs in around that time.
I got to be honest. I thought he was going to come in. I mean, I didn't think he was going to come in that early, but I thought he was going to come in like 60, 65. But he came in pretty early.
And Pedri, what is the point of watching MLS regular season games? Well, the fact that you either make the playoffs or you don't, and then the seeding matters. And I'll explain to you why the seeding matters. You see, last year, Atlanta won a crazy game in June. They stole a victory and won. Instead of going down in a draw, they won. And they, instead of getting just 1 point, they got 3 points. That was in June. Now, that game and those 3 points went ahead and led them to making the playoffs as the 9th seed, because without those 2 points, they don't classify for the playoffs. And you know what happened? They ended up playing against Miami in the first round because of that one game in June. And we all know what happened when they played against Miami. So the regular season matters because you have to make the playoffs, and then seeding matchups. There's some teams that you probably might be good against, other teams that you might not. Whereas if you're watching Ligue 1,
nothing matters anymore. Nothing matters.
Nothing. They could literally just play the youth academy, put the 12-year-olds out there. And that's it. What does it matter? They have nothing to lose. If they lose, it doesn't matter. Just give them the trophy. Did they already get the trophy?
I don't know. But Monaco, if you're a fan of them, go home. There's no reason. And they're in second place.
Why are we talking about this? I'm sorry. We got completely sidetracked.
Yeah, we did. Get out of here. So what'd you think of the half?
I thought that we looked good. Because we weren't getting, we weren't getting caught on the counter a lot. And I knew Messi was going to come in the second half, and I felt pretty good. I don't know. I felt good going into the second half.
I did. I mean, look, Dennis had brought up a comment here. I'm going to see if I can find it. He said, I don't think so, Chris. Philly was getting the better of the play. I think that if you're a team that's down 1-0 and a good offensive team, I feel like at some point you're going to be able to kind of change the momentum of the game to be able to get some good strings of attack. But it's like what somebody mentioned in the chat, Ty Baribo and Gazdag, they couldn't be able to connect. Like we were playing pretty good defense against them.
In the first half, we were dominating the ball and we just weren't giving them chances.
Yeah.
Like, again, we weren't necessarily going vertical with the ball, but we were possessing the ball in our own half. But it's like, okay, well, this is what you want us to do. We'll do it until we find some space to run in behind and score on the counter like we did with that goal with Robert Taylor. But if we don't find that, we're not going to rush this. You can keep trying to press us, but it's not going to work. And we'll just keep passing it between us. And that's what the first half basically was. In the first half, they had 6 shots, only 2 on target. Like it opened up in the second half, but the first half was relatively boring because we kept possession. We didn't do a lot with the possession. They didn't really have opportunities to do anything. And that was basically the first half.
So the second half starts. Philly decides they want to bring in their Messi. So Indiana Vasilev gets on. Welcome back, 46th minute. Then Inter Miami brings in our Messi, the Messi, for the other GOAT, Robert Taylor. And this happened in the 55th minute, which, like I said, was pretty early. I didn't expect that. And Iman, much appreciated. You watched the whole game. That's great.
I figured that Messi would come on around that time. That's when he always comes in. And you know what I was thinking? We're up 1-0.
Yeah. That's a terrible score line.
And then you bring in the best player of all time. And then we go up 2-0. And then you bring in Segovia and Bright, which are better players than what's already on the pitch. And I just started thinking to myself, this team is so freaking deep. Yeah. Philadelphia is probably the biggest test we've had. We're winning 2-0, and we keep bringing on better players onto the pitch. Like, it's wild.
Let's take a moment to kind of, before we keep moving into the game, Mr. Krabs makes a great comment here. Messi comes in and makes a difference.
Immediately.
So,
it's a cheat code.
This is, Danny said that. You said those very words after the goal was scored.
Yeah, it is.
And he literally came in 2 minutes later, and this was off of a, if I'm not mistaken, a Luis Suarez pass. Luis Suarez ended up finding him.
Now, before this play happened, Messi came on, and Chris said, Philly is all on attack. And I said, I think that's on purpose because as soon as Messi came on, now we're defending with 9 rather than 10, right? Because Robert Taylor comes back on defense. Messi doesn't so much, right? So as he's saying this, we get the ball back. The ball gets pushed up to Messi, and that's it. And that goes right to what you were saying. And this is why Messi can go ahead and not defend, because he does so much on the other side.
And it's not just that, but like after he receives the pass from Luis Suarez, like his creation of the play, just self-creating his space, going to his right, which is, I mean, look, the weaker side, I guess, just for argument's sake, and literally
he has over 100 goals with his right foot in his career.
No, I know that, but I'm just telling you, like in terms of like looking at his statistics and stuff like that, his left foot is his stronger foot, but he's the GOAT. He has stronger foot, both of them. And he goes, passes the defender. Defender is caught, and he puts it right in the back of the net. Blake has no shot at it. Like, he is the ultimate cheat code. He comes in and makes the difference like the MVP that he is. So.
And shout out to Marisayu. I just got your thing just came in. So shout out to you.
That deserves a super slam, Danny.
Oh, I didn't even see the comment. I was looking at I just got
but that's super slam, Danny. What are we doing? Let's go, baby.
And shout out to you for copying that Yannick Bright shirt. Look, Messi, like I said, is a cheat code. As soon as he came on, he made the difference. He has over 100 goals with his right foot, which like Chris said, I guess you could technically call it the weaker foot, but I mean, is
Yeah.
it? And it's a cheat code, man. Like he comes in and immediately makes a difference. He scored or assisted in every single game so far this season. He has now 43 goal contributions for Inter Miami, which ties him for most in Inter Miami history with Higuain. So his next either goal or assist will now break that. He'll be the single holder of that record. There's not enough things you can say about Messi because he's just that guy.
So he puts us ahead at the 57th minute, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was just crazy. Like everybody was going nuts. Philly comes in with some substitutions. We end up taking out Redondo and putting in Bright, 70th minute. And then Yannick Bright gets a yellow card a minute later. No, not a minute later. I'm sorry. 6 minutes later. Falcon gets a yellow card. And the moment that Bright got the yellow card, I'm like, oh, dude, man, Mascherano must look at this guy like another Toto, where he's just like a flying tube man and just hitting everybody. He's a mess. Well, he's sometimes a mess, but today he got the yellow card, pushed off of a player. And Iman is saying here, I'm complaining because they are shaky like last year. They're better this year, but not solid enough. They're giving a lot of chances to score. Philly had a great finisher or a header, the match draw. I mean, look, that's how the ball bounces. Like if this happens, then that happens. We can't live in this, this thing of where it's like if this and if that. I mean, it is what it is. Look, they played a pretty good game. We played a really good team.
You're never gonna get a perfect defense, especially not in this league. I think they played okay, and especially against what's supposed to be one of the best attacks in the league. I remember Amanda. She joined us for the MLS show a couple weeks ago, and she said, "I'm here just to hear what you guys think are the best offenses in the league." And we told you, Orlando's one of them, Philly's one of them. There's a few of them that are pretty potent. Philly is one of them,
Vancouver,
and we held them to one goal.
Chicago out of nowhere.
Yeah, or they have Kuipers, Bamba, and we're going to talk about them. They won again today, I believe. I wanted to bring something up real quick.
Yeah.
So we lead the league in yellow cards right now.
Yeah.
Okay. We're tied. I'm sorry. We're tied for first place. Now we're tied with DC United. We both have 18 yellow cards. And then Soccer Daddy's letting know that Chicago drew. They were leading, but I guess they drew. Okay. So Inter Miami and DC United are tied for the league lead in yellow cards, both with 18 yellow cards. Now, DC United had 0 red cards. We have 3 red cards. Guess how many fouls DC United has committed to get those 18 yellow cards?
I mean, I would say 30.
106.
Wow.
Now, how many do you think Miami's committed to get those 18 yellow cards?
That I would say like 30.
No, it's way more than that. It's 61. So to get the same amount of yellow cards, it took DC United 106 fouls, us 61 fouls. Then Kansas City is in second or third place technically with 17 yellow cards, 77 fouls.
Wow. That's a huge discrepancy.
Yeah. So just about every single team that has double-digit yellow cards has at least 65 fouls. And they've all played 6 games. We've only played 5 games. And we lead, obviously, the league in red cards by far because nobody's got more than 1, and we have 3. So just putting it out there for all the Miami and the refs and all that other stuff. And it was a mess today. Today was an absolute disaster at the end of that game. And it was getting chippy both ways. I know we're not there yet. We're going to get into it. But it was getting chippy both ways. And no yellow cards for Philly. And I saw, and I know that they were diving, but Inter Miami players were just diving as the contact was coming in and no yellow cards. Yeah. Philly dives.
And they pull it out.
Luis Suarez complains. Mascherano, you complaining from the sideline? Here's another one for you too. It's like, what? Mascherano? Like, it was a mess. Today was an absolute mess.
Everybody got one of these. Everybody almost got one of these today.
It's like Oprah out there.
Yeah, just handing them out.
Yeah.
Well, we end up getting scored on, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
We end up getting scored on. There was a nice cross by Quinn Sullivan into
Which,
Daniel
by the way, is
Gazdag.
so underrated. Quinn Sullivan,
is.
for those people that talk about Kevin, his younger brother, because he's like 15. And you know what? I saw Matty Ice on the Discord said that he's been 15 for like the last 3 years.
Yes.
It feels that way. That was such a great comment that he wrote that. I feel like I've been talking about Kevin being 15 for the last 3 years, but everybody talks about Kevin Sullivan. His brother must hate his younger brother because his older brother is balling this year, and nobody talks about him. Quinn Sullivan is a baller.
The guy that was next to us in the seats next to us, he was also saying he's 15.
Is he?
Like, what's his
15?
Hold on, what's his age?
I don't know, but I thought that was so funny that Matty Ice wrote that.
So Kevin Sullivan, at this very moment, is actually 15.
There you go. He's been 15 for like the last 3 years.
For the last 3 years, he has been frozen in time, Walt Disney style.
Didn't Real Madrid rob Liga? I don't know if you saw the banger by your boy, but no, it was a banger by your boy Mbappe there, Pedri. So just putting that out there.
Calm down, Danny, because then you're gonna get strays in the chat, and then in the comments, it's gonna be a disaster. But yeah, Gazdag ends up scoring on us off of a great pass by Sullivan. There was a little bit of a panic on defense. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was Fafa that just couldn't be able to put himself in the right position to be able to stop it. And we get scored on. A little scrum happens in goal where, like, Frey gets knocked down. Luis Suarez comes and just argues for, like, no reason. So, see, look at what's happening, Danny. Now you got...
This is why I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about Madrid.
You pull your skin back and you show your insides, and now everybody is gonna pick you apart here.
Yeah.
Well,
and
this is a good comment by Tony Axe. Says, clear to me that our biggest weakness is crosses from the flanks.
Well, we don't have. I mean, what do we have? We have Peluca to win those heady duels. We have Ustadi, which Ustadi's been playing great, but he doesn't necessarily go out and win those balls with his hands like Drake does. I think that's the only thing that Ustadi doesn't do is he doesn't kind of go out and kind of attack the ball with his hands in those crosses. But you know, man, I guess that technically is a weakness. Those crosses. I'd have to look back. How have they scored on us every? I know the first game against NYCFC, it was that Jordi Alba giveaway, and I can't remember what the second goal was. And I can't remember but we haven't been scored on a lot this season. We've given up 5 goals so far this year.
Well, and Miguel, we're going to talk a little bit about this. He says, bro, can we agree that those Drake long balls are horrid and pointless? They're not horrid and pointless.
That was done. I think that was done on purpose. And I was talking to my wife about that during the game. But we'll get that. We'll get there in a sec.
Well, speaking about Drake, right after that goal by Gazdag, a couple minutes later, you have Oscar Ustadi who gets injured. And it looks like he was just cramping up. I don't think it was something serious. I think it was just cramping up. And Pedri Potter says, I guess now you know, Danny, how other fans feel as Danny exposes himself and his Mbappe underwear.
For those of you listening on audio.
He literally pulled his shorts down and he is exposing his Real Madrid underwears to all of the viewers here on YouTube.
Well, what minute was it that the Drake thing happened? It was like the 86, 87 minute?
86th minute. Everybody in the stands must be trembling in their pants. Okay. Fafa gets subbed out and Noah Allen comes in as well in the same exchange.
That looks just like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I don't know what you're talking about.
It actually kind of looks like that kid Speed.
Maybe a little bit.
It kind of looks like that kid's that kid Speed.
But What were you thinking when you saw that Drake was going to come in? Because me and my wife were really stressed.
Well, yeah, I was stressed because I thought to myself, this is where everyone is going to crush him. We're winning 2-1. We're going to get scored on, and we're going to leave with a tie, and everybody is going to be on the Drake out deal, and Ustadi for life, Rocco for life, and like we're never ever going to see Drake ever again in pink.
I was stressed for him. I was stressed for him because I wanted things to go well for him. But I was glad that everybody cheered him when he came onto the pitch. Right?
Yes, I was very surprised about that.
Everybody cheered him, which was really nice. And that was cool. And the very first he came in for a corner, which was like, oh my God. But I think it was Fafa headed it away. And I think he didn't really get tested too much. There was a shot that came straight at him. But for the most part, I don't think he was really tested. But somebody was talking about his long balls. Oh, you were gonna say something else, Chris?
Well, I was gonna say something because the dude Abides, shout out to the dude Abides. You're always saying please like, much appreciated for that. He says Drake was nervous and scary, right? There was his first ball collection. He actually fumbled it a little bit. I was like, oh my God, he's really nervous right now. So that scared me.
Well, there were a couple moments where they pressed him, and I don't think he was expecting them to press him, right? Like there was one where Jordi Alba, I think it was Jordi Alba that passed it back to him. He kind of kicked it towards his right, and I forgot who it was from Philly that closed in on him a lot quicker than I thought he was going to get there. I thought that he might block that kick. Yeah, I'm sure there were some nerve moments, not from us, but just from Drake, especially because I'm sure he felt it. I mean, it's the first time he gets on the pitch in a game, and who knows, and how many months? I'm sure he was feeling it.
Danny, this is probably one of my favorite comments here, and it's also a super slam. So let's get it popping. Christian with a CH says Drake laid the ball out right in front of the Philly player. He was half a second from disaster before sending one of those long balls. That play right there,
that was scary.
A mess.
Yeah. That was scary. That was scary.
Yeah. And I want Pedri, let's not do the comments like that. Okay, let's not go there, buddy.
I don't care. But I will tell you, Pedri, I have to tell you, I am an Inter Miami fan. You can talk crap about Real Madrid. It doesn't faze me at all. I don't care. I think I like rooting Real Madrid more than anything just because it annoys so many people. But if they lose, it doesn't bother me.
And a good comment, a nice Messi comment here by Henry Manuel says, "Hi guys, man, this Messi is truly gifted and chosen one for football. Wow."
Yeah, no, he was. And you know what I did notice is towards the end of the game when towards the end of the game when things started getting tight, Messi was dropping back and defending. He was bodying people. There was one moment where he kind of bodied somebody with his hip off the ball.
Yes,
and started breaking on the counter. So even though he doesn't necessarily defend 90 minutes or however long he's out there, he picks and chooses. And when the game's on the line, he's gonna put his body on the line, which kind of scares me also because I don't want him necessarily getting too aggressive. I don't want him getting injured. But he was putting his body out there.
Yeah. Look, it's like at the end of the game, Mascherano said that Messi is the greatest of all time and that there's even on defense, he could be a great defender, which is true. Like if he really puts his energy into it, he'll be able to defend well. You know,
when Ustadi got injured, Messi came and stood next to Ustadi. Yeah. We sit right behind the goal. So we were right there when Messi is right in front of us with Ustadi. And the amount of people that all of a sudden just crowded our area, they started yelling Messi was absolutely wild. The security couldn't clear everybody. They couldn't. It's wild at the chance of getting close. It was wild.
I'm going to bring up your comment, Hash, in a little bit, but I actually forgot to post that video because I did take video of all the people around us. and it was a mess. It was
Yeah.
it was a mess.
As soon as Messi stood there, it's like everybody just came and crowded that area, which was wild.
Yeah.
It's got to be rough to just walk around being Messi. You
So
you just can't walk around anywhere.
So let's just go through the yellow cards before we talk about the last 10 minutes. Sergio Busquets, 90th plus 2 minutes, gets a yellow card. Alba gets a yellow card in the 4th minute after 90. Suarez gets a yellow card in the 5th minute after 90.
You could say 95th minute.
95th minute, whatever. I don't know. I don't want to get shot down by like real football fans that they're like, oh, talk about it in the real minute, blah, whatever. So it was a disaster. The referee decides to pull off his best Oprah, thing and just hand out cards.
There was a moment when Jordi Alba got his yellow card. Him and I forgot who it was out on to our left, I guess. There was like a shoving match or something. Ball went out for a corner. Jordi Alba starts saying something to the ref. That ref doesn't do anything. The center judge runs from the middle of the pitch all the way over to the corner and gives him the yellow. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's like he was standing up for the other ref that was getting yelled at. The other ref has yellow cards in his pocket also. Like,
yes.
I thought that was really weird. The way that he ran all the way over there and gave him a yellow. He didn't even hear what he was saying. Like, it was really weird. I just overall I thought that that the refereeing was really weird, and not necessarily the foul calls or anything. It's the amount of yellows. Fouls get called all the time. It's whatever. But the fact that they kept giving us yellows, what's going on?
Yeah. MG Coin with a really good comment. Yes, this Messi guy is good. He has the potential of being a world class player.
I hear that he's not going to go to Europe after this, though.
Yeah. So is he that good? A world class player?
He might get called up to the Argentina League international team. I know that he didn't participate this past 2 games. They won anyway. He might get called up for the next World Cup, though.
Yeah, and I think Mr. Krabs is saying, is it because he didn't get Messi's autograph? That could be it.
Absolutely, it could definitely be it. This isn't the first time this happens, though. When was it that that ref asking for that autograph from Messi ruined the refing for us all season? Because all the refs are like, yeah, we got to make sure we call this right down the middle, and if we're gonna choose a side, go against Miami because we don't want to show favoritism. That ref completely threw off the reffing for us this year.
Yeah, we're cooked ever since then. Ever since this guy wanted a free jersey with a signature on it. Yamila saying Argentina trashed Brazil, by the way.
Yep, 4-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brazil is not good anymore, which is wild. I mean, they're not the worst, but they're definitely not what they used to be.
Well, I mean, he's not getting called up until maybe next time, but Mike V says rumor has it that Rocco's getting called up to the Chuck Norris national team.
How is this Rocco thing still a thing?
It is. It's the biggest thing.
Do you think Drake stays on this team? Because I thought that he would be gone by the time the transfer window ends, which is in like a week or two. I thought that he'd be gone. He got in the game. He's the backup again. For some reason, I didn't even look at the bench. I just assumed that it was going to be Rocco. It was you that told me, like, no, it's Drake. Yeah, I had no idea. I was surprised. If Drake is getting some playing time, and we have to talk about the LAFC game this week. What was the Ustadi? What was the Ustadi injury? Did we find out, or are we asking stupid ass questions about Michael Jordan versus LeBron, and we never found out what happened with Ustadi?
Well, you know what's funny is that they asked about the first question, which was asked by I think I don't remember who it was, but they asked about Drake's performance, but did not ask about Ustadi's injury. 10-minute performance and not asking about an injury. This is what it looked like. Ustadi had a cramp, according to AZ Rebellion.
Okay,
AZ Rebellion.
If that's the case, he'll be good for LAFC.
Yeah, he should be. And Soccer Daddy said Mascherano said cramps.
Okay.
So I wanted to bring up that comment. Let's see.
Wait, did we finish the game already?
No, we haven't finished the game. We could talk about that at the end then.
Okay. I didn't know how many minutes were given. The PA announcer either said it really low or I just wasn't paying. The thing is, it happened simultaneously as to when Drake took a shot and caught it right in his chest.
Yeah.
And my wife got kind of crazy because she really wants Drake to do well, so she started yelling, and I didn't hear the PA announcer. So I had no idea how many minutes of extra time there were. I like that they actually show us the minutes on the clock now, but at least put somewhere how many minutes it is just in case you miss it. So we were kind of just blind, just waiting for a whistle because I had no idea when it might come.
Yeah, I don't think they ever I don't even think they ever brought it up. I didn't see the guy come out showing the extra minutes at the end.
Again, and maybe it was because it happened as Drake was catching that ball, and we were so nervous with the whole Drake thing that we didn't pay attention. Yeah, it was 9 extra minutes. I found out afterwards that it was 9 extra minutes. But while it was happening, I had no idea. And then to somebody that said that Drake with the long balls, they're pointless. I was talking to my wife about it because she was wondering why they kept going for the long balls also. Because they just it's like basically a turnover. You're just giving the ball back to Philly.
Yeah.
But Drake hasn't played all year. Philly is a team that likes to press high. And everybody says that Drake's weakness is his passing, his footwork. So are you really going to put in Drake in the last 10 minutes of the game in a big game in which you're leading 2-1? He just randomly came in, probably didn't think he was going to play. Maybe he's improved his footwork, maybe not. But are you really going to test it out right now? No, that was all by design. Mascherano said, send that shit the other way and we'll figure it out. No way are we playing the ball from the back. No way are we giving Drake even the opportunity to hiccup. Look, the very first ball, like you said, that he grabbed, he bobbled. Like he hasn't been playing. And I'm sure he's also nervous. Maybe he's not. He's zen. Maybe he's not. But I'd probably be nervous in that situation. So I understand why he was going for those long balls. It was by design.
But now, look, Pedri Potter says, here come the excuses for Drake as usual. But Thomas follows up right after, says they don't trust playing from the back.
With Drake,
it could be both. It could be both. It's not excuses, Pedri. It's just that he's literally fresh out the starting. This was his first play.
Pedri, if you were Mascherano, Pedri, would you tell him to play it out the back? Would you say, yeah, let's play like Ustadi's here. Play the ball to Toto Aviles. Play the ball to Jordi. Are you going to do that in a 2-1 game when there's 10 minutes left in the game? I don't think so.
Well, if he does, then he needs to go to Ligue 1 and just apply to coach any other team except PSG.
You can't play from the back with Drake. I agree. You can't play from the back with Drake. And if you are going to attempt that, you do it at the beginning of a game when he starts the game, and you kind of let him grow into the game, hopefully. You don't do that at the very end of a game when you're leading and you're playing against a team that presses high. Like, that's why it was just long ball after long ball.
Mr. Krabs, we're equal. We're equal with our attention. Okay, we give everybody attention here. The lovers, the haters, the happy people, the mad people. Everybody gets attention until you just don't deserve any attention. Yeah. Somebody did probably piss in Pedri's cornflakes, Mike V. And it probably doesn't have any. Well, what do you mean? Who ate like old people eat cornflakes? No. Old people have to be the ones that are keeping cornflakes in business. Like people literally that are 60 plus years old. Nobody younger than 60 eats cornflakes, right? I mean,
you're there. On mute because there's like a war going on outside. I don't know if you can hear that.
There probably is a war. It's over cornflakes.
So that's why I'm on mute.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the standouts of the game. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this up just in case there's like an active sniper in Danny's area or something. And they're probably okay, good. So there's no active sniper in your area.
No.
And look, Miguel saying Frosty Flakes. You add sugar to your cornflakes, Streamundo, go buy Frosted Flakes.
I was just about to say, I used to go to my aunt's house. She used to give me Frosted Flakes. And she used to add sugar to the Frosted Flakes.
I've done that too.
You're not diabetic?
No.
Jesus Christ. You know what it is to add sugar to frosted? You know why they're frosted?
So
Because
that
they
way
add
you don't-
extra sugar.
Well, I used to do that to my Cheerios also. That's the only way Cheerios are ever edible is adding sugar to your Cheerios.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So stand out. We're gonna look. I brought up
Did we keep this starting 11 up the whole time?
No, I just brought it up right now while the police were looking for the active shooter in your area. Here we have the starting 11, but I don't know if you want to pick people off the bench, right?
Sure.
Look, standouts to me. Stand out. Look, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pull the trigger here, guys. No pun intended with the active shooter in Danny's area. Stand out to me is I'm gonna give it to my boy Robbie Taylor, and I'm gonna give it to my boy Ian Frey. Ian Frey and Robbie Taylor to me stood out.
I thought Ian Frey saved us a few times. Ustadi had some great saves.
Yes.
Jordi Alba had a good game. Busquets had a good game. Fafa, I thought, had a decent game. Suarez was bitching at him at one point. I forgot what it was, but Suarez was bitching at Fafa at one point. What did you think of Suarez's game? Because I heard that he won man of the match.
He did win man of the match. He did have an assist, as far as I know. No? I think he did have an assist to Messi. The goal that Messi scored, he was the person that passed it to him.
Yeah, he laid it off to him, though. It's not like he created that play. I was surprised that he was the man of the match.
I was very surprised as well. But then who do you give it to? Right? I mean, you can give it to Messi. Messi, okay, Busquets, but he didn't get an assist. He didn't even get a hockey assist. In reality, Alba got the hockey assist.
But Busquets, if you look at it, he, with the eye test, as they say, like, he contributed to most of those plays.
Well, look, a lot of people are here. Look, Messi was man of the match.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Well, we're talking about standouts right now. But if you want, go ahead and let's go to man of the match other than Messi.
Well,
other than Messi.
Okay, so look, Dremundo saying Suarez won man of the match, and people are saying that for man of the match and the field, that it should have been Boosie. Boosie. Listen, AZ Rebellion, I'm not gonna take this slander. Okay, I'm not. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Look, Mike V. Look, I'll accept this. This is acceptable. Taylor, man of the match. Okay.
Let me check these SOFA scores or
the scores. What is it? Foot mob and who cares? XG. Like, you can kiss my ass with that XG. Man of the match other than Messi, Bobby Taylor. Look, a lot of people are picking Boosie. So, like, you're not too far-fetched. I mean, Henry's saying Ian. Look, this is a good point.
Jordy was everywhere. I think this is the highest score I've ever seen for somebody that didn't score or assist. Busquets got a 7.9, almost got an 8.0 without scoring or assisting.
Nice. And then look, and Jack Cart's saying the same thing. Boosie, man of the match.
Who's controlling it? You can't press Boosie.
Yeah. And Swan QT says I like Falcone. It's there's a lot of people that are going with Boosie or Jordy.
You said that he didn't have any assists, which he didn't. He had 11 passes into the final third.
Who? Busquets?
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, that's that king vision, like the quarterback. Mm-hmm. He is literally that quarterback.
He had 11 recoveries, 2 interceptions, 1 block.
Good. This is a good reference, Rubita. Jordy played with 3 lungs this game.
As opposed to Chris's favorite players that play with 2 lungs.
You're never going to let me live that down.
Never.
Listen, Boosie controlled Philly like puppets. And Anonymous is saying the only player on this team that gets high scores without scoring an assist is Messi. Boosie should have been man of the match.
Yeah, no. Messi comes on the pitch, and this 11 of 11 duels won. Messi changes the games around, man. Like the way he opens things up, he opened it up, and we just became so much more dangerous. It's a cheat code, as I was telling you. It's wild.
So, all right, okay. Now let's get into this. Mike V says, "Can we talk about how bad Redombo is?" Let's get to our Que Pena awards. So, are we gonna keep it 11 centric here, or are we gonna count bench people?
You can count bench people. I don't care.
I mean, do you want to do that? You want to count bench people that come on and see like 10, 20 minutes? Like,
Well, you don't have to pick anybody from the bench.
I don't want to pick anybody off the bench, to be honest. I don't feel right picking people off the bench.
Okay.
So, Que Pena. This is very hard. I don't want to give Ben Krem the Que Pena award today. I'm not doing that. Guys, I'm not doing that. I am actually going to go with Suarez for my
The man of the match?
Yes, I'm going to go with Suarez because Redondo, he played. Look, Ben Krem and Redondo played better this game than they have in any other game this season. It's not saying much, but they did. Okay. So other than that, the defense played fairly well. The wingers played fairly well. And that just leaves me with Luis Suarez. And look, a lot of people are agreeing with me. You know,
Okay.
They're saying Redondo was fine. Thomas says
Redondo,
Suarez.
I thought Redondo had a fine game also. It's hard. It's hard to choose a Que Pena today.
Yeah. Well, he
If I
didn't
have
play
to give-
terribly.
If I have to give it to somebody, I'm going to give it to Segovia.
Ooh,
Se-
okay.
Segovia played what? Let's see. Segovia played what minute did he come in? He came in the 70th minute. So he played half an hour, right?
Thank you, Dremudo.
So he came in the 70th minute. They played until the 100th minute, basically. So he played half an hour. In 30 minutes, he had 10 touches. He was a ghost out there. There you go. Segovia was invisible.
Tony Axe.
Because if you look at his stats, it'll say 20 minutes, that he played 20 minutes. But they don't count the added time. There was 10 minutes of added time, basically, 9-10 minutes.
So 30 minutes.
He played 30 minutes and got 10 touches. He has to figure out a way. I thought he did a better job in the beginning of the season when Messi and everybody was out there. I don't know. He's gonna have to find his footing because I thought that he was a ghost out there.
So, am I wrong, Danny? Because Pedri's saying Suarez literally won the ball and assisted Messi. But again, you guys are biased as always. He's already including you in this. I'm the one that said Suarez is the Que Pena guy. But, I mean, you're included just by default. I mean, wait till we get to the man of the match other than Messi. Then you're going to really think we're biased.
Well, who is your man of the match other than Messi? Oh, don't say it's Robert Taylor.
Who is my man of the match?
Didn't we already do
guys?
this? Didn't I say it was Busquets and you said it was Robert Taylor?
No, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. We talked about standouts. I mean, if you want to give your man of the match, guys, who is your man of the match for this game other than Messi?
I'm pretty sure we already did this, but yeah, Busquets. I think everybody else already said Busquets.
MG Coin is saying Jordi, and then Dennis Lopez, of course, with that ball knowledge. Bobby Taylor, Alba, Mike V saying Taylor. We got some Ustadis and some Boosies. Listen, it's good to see multiple
had
names.
A huge save. Ustadi had a huge save.
Rocco.
I think we have to end the show. Let's go to final thoughts. I can't put up with this Rocco nonsense.
I'll be serious. I'm not going to say it was Robert Taylor. I'm going to go with Jordi Alba. He was a speed demon out there. He played great defense. He facilitated the ball, made great passes, was able to make line-breaking plays, okay, in the final third.
He did come back on a few of those possible counters on Philly, and Jordi Alba was one of the first men getting back in transition defense, which was really nice to see.
Very. I don't know if you want to have any other thoughts on this game. My last comment was going to be about the question that was asked in the press conference.
Okay, sure. Now you can finish with that. Let me just say real quick.
baby.
Because he scored.
Let's
All
not
right,
talk about all that.
Monday, we're going to have the preview for the LAFC game with Eric. I forgot the name of his podcast. It's Section 128, I want to say. But we'll be doing the preview show for LAFC Monday at 9 o'clock. So that's the next time we'll be on. And we'll be doing Las Garzas at 10 o'clock. All right, Chris, go ahead with your last comment.
So Hash is asking, Chris, don't forget to mention about the reporter who asked Mascherano about Michael Jordan or LeBron. This bothers me a lot because there were a couple people who traveled from their location down for this game that were covering Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Union. They were all denied media credentials or press passes to the media room or the reporter's room. And that is awful. That's awful. You have people that are flying in, they communicate with this team, with the communications department, weeks ahead, days ahead, weeks ahead, whatever it is. From people that have covered this team, Philadelphia, and you're going to deny them of their press passes, but then some guy who happens to be Brandon Marshall. A lot of people didn't know this, but it was Brandon Marshall, wide receiver who played for the Bears, the Broncos, the Dolphins, and the number of other teams. Asked the question. First of all, he asked the first question, which is, hey, Mascherano, you Argentinian guy who played many years with Messi, who's better, Messi or Ronaldo? Blah, 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 blah. What? Are you kidding me? You're going to ask that question like a bozo?
I hope Mascherano didn't even bother answering that question.
No, he did. He's like, oh, there's no reason to answer. And then he's like, of course I'm going to pick Messi because he's a well-rounded player, blah, 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 blah. And then he proceeded to ask, just out of nowhere, Michael Jordan or LeBron. And then he just told him, I don't watch basketball. Sorry. Is this press conference over? Goodbye, guys. And then he just leaves.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why. No, I don't even know what to say to that. It's wild that that actual people that want to ask actual questions get denied, and I get it. He has his I forget what show it is that he does, but it is very popular.
It's called I Am Athlete or something.
Yeah. It is very, very popular. But I mean, if you don't watch soccer, I won't say football. If you don't watch soccer and you don't know about soccer, and you're gonna go in there and you're not gonna ask a serious question, just don't waste their time. Like it's corny. And I get it. I get why Inter Miami does it, right? Because I am 100% sure, because he is part of that show. At some point, he interviewed one of the players or something for his show, and it's gonna give Inter Miami some. But like, don't let him waste a question there when people are actually wanting to ask serious questions. Yeah, it was a clown show.
I think he took up literally 2 or 3 minutes of the press conference at the end. And Thomas is saying here in the comment, that's weak from the communications department. Abso-freaking-lutely. You got all the people that are coming for coverage for Philadelphia Union who would have had pretty good questions, I imagine. And they're not even allowed to go into the press box to cover the team, much less have questions.
But I mean, you do realize, and I'm agreeing with you to an extent, but you do realize that getting Brandon Marshall in there is a bigger deal than getting Todd DeGott in there.
Well, yes, I absolutely agree with you. Brandon Marshall's Brandon Marshall, but at the end of the day, like, look, this is what happens, Danny. Mascherano says, I don't really like basket. And Hash, just like I put in the Discord, he's saying Chris's question would have been better to ask. At least it would have given a little bit more of a personal view into Mascherano's like life, how he cuts his sandwich versus Michael Jordan or LeBron. Give me a break.
When I first heard about the question, I thought that kid Speed made it in there.
Yeah. And I agree with you, MG, and LeBron isn't the GOAT, okay? MJ. Okay, we'll talk about this another day.
All right, Chris, was that your final thought?
This would actually be a great question to ask Mascherano. The horse-sized duck or the duck-sized horses? That would stumble him.
This is why nobody should ever allow you in there.
I think that would be a fantastic question. That says a lot about a person's character. He looks like the kind of guy that would say, give me the horse-sized duck.
That's what I would take. All right. On Monday, like I said, we'll do a preview for the LAFC with Eric. Eric is always a good time. He's always joining us on the Battered MLS Fans. It's the first time he's going to join us on Battered Herons. So that'll be a great time. And Las Garzas at 10 o'clock. So we'll be back then. So we won. I keep saying it. We're not losing more than 3 games this year. And people, I think, looked at me a little crazy when I said it a couple weeks ago. But the way we've been winning these games, I'm telling you, we're not losing more than 3 games this year in the MLS regular season. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please give us 5 stars, comment, review, all the good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, for those of you in the chat, we appreciate you hanging out with us for the last hour and 15 minutes. You guys are the best part of the show. And again, like helps us out a lot. And comment if you didn't get your comment thrown up here. And we'll be back on Monday. Appreciate you guys. And by the way, I ran into a few of you guys while I was waiting for my wife out in the bathroom. Didn't get your names. A bunch appreciated. I'm basically talking to a laptop here when we do the show. So it's like, I know you guys technically exist, but it almost feels like you guys are non-existent.
You got to say your name.
Yeah. So it's really cool when we get to meet some of you guys and you come up to us and let us know that you watched the show. So shout out to both of you guys that walked up to me while I was waiting for my wife. And it's much appreciated. We love the support. All right. And until the next one, have a good one.